and that is to make sure you and your family and the people you love have a carbon monoxide detector. You know, I had had a carbon monoxide detector for years, plugged it in, never thought about it. I only had one. One night when I was laying in bed, it went off, but just for a couple of minutes. I didn't really think anything about it. Went through my day, got off the air. On the way home, something said to me, you know what, maybe you should go buy a new one, because I thought that one was broken. So I'll be honest, I stopped, I bought one for each floor. When I got them home and I plugged them in, they were blaring. Because realize carbon monoxide is odorless, it didn't smell like anything, and I thought it couldn't be happening to me. Well, thank goodness I did that, because those carbon monoxide detectors saved my life and my family's life. When I called 911, they came and they made sure that everything was fine.
It was the sump pump in her basement that had been faulty. Sandra Bennett, sweet woman, really a nice lady here at QVC, had a situation where she had an apartment that was above a glass blower's studio.
Yes.
And the furnace failed.
That's right.
Her carbon monoxide detector never beeped. Never did anything. But the neighbor across the street, theirs did, and it was enough to have woken Sandra up and saved her family. Carbon monoxide is odorless, like me, tasteless. You cannot smell it. I just heard my technical director laugh out loud. You cannot sense it.
That's right.
So you've got to have the best equipment, and that's why we have the USI permanent power carbon monoxide alarm. A built-in 10-year battery, priced at $39.75, and a buy more, save more of $3. Erica Swineford, welcome back.
Thank you.
This is not the exotic, glorious, beautiful jewelry item.
Right. But it's a gift that every home needs, because if you have carbon monoxide, you know, we all grew up knowing we need smoke detectors, but the thing with smoke is that you can see it, you can smell it. Carbon monoxide, on the other hand, they call it the silent killer because you can't see it or smell it or taste it, and the only way to know if you have a leak in your home is with a detector like this one. That's really the only way. And you know, a lot of people think, well, I don't have a fireplace, so I wouldn't have carbon monoxide in my home, but it actually comes from a lot of common sources that we all have in our homes.
Anything that creates combustion creates carbon monoxide.
Right, so
and it doesn't have to be a full flame.
No. Nope. Things like your water heater, right? We all have one of those. Your furnace, we all have one of those. Generators during storm season, grills, an idling automobile. Maybe it's in your garage or your neighbor's attached garage if you live in a townhouse or apartment. Clothing dryers, ranges and vents, fireplaces, yes, of course, and chimneys and portable heaters. And so you can see, if you live in a home, the potential is there, and it only takes something to malfunction one time for a leak to occur.
We now live in very tight homes.
Right.
Because we're all more energy efficient, and those replacement windows that you just put in, they get rid of all the drafts, but that now blocks any fresh air from coming in.
That's right.
And everything is recycled. With this unit, when you get it at home, there's a big red plastic tab on the side. And that's there to deactivate the battery so that it's not being used in transit. You see it right there.
That'll save your battery and keep it fresh. So when you pull that activation tab, Dan, that's 10 years. So it's 2016. You don't have to replace this until 2026, a decade.
You're not paying a monthly fee.
Right. Nope.
You paid for it. It's $3. It's less than $4 a year for absolute protection. And that's why we are going to recommend that you put them in several areas around your home.
And I love that QVC gave the buy more, save more so that you can do that, because we recommend one on every level. But really, if you have heavy sleepers or people that sleep with the door shut, we recommend them inside the bedrooms. Right, because if you're asleep, we want you to be able to hear it. And if it's going off in the basement or the first floor and you're on the second floor, you might not be able to. So we recommend, you know, on all floors and in the bedroom.
And it's not just, you know, self-centered. It's worried about family, worried about pets. A smoke alarm is a necessity.
Right.
But again, smoke does have an odor.
Right.
And it can be seen. And we hear stories all the time where it's like Lassie, say Timmy in the Well, where the dog wakes up the whole family.
Right. But
even a dog's sense of smell, there is no odor to carbon monoxide. There is nothing to see. You don't taste it.
That's right. Everything looks the same, and really, the only way to know is with a detector.
The
it really is the
symptoms
only
of
way to
carbon
know.
monoxide poisoning are very, very similar to the flu.
Right, and that's just it. And a lot of people mistake it a lot of times that they are coming down with
This
something.
time of year.
When in reality, it's
Yep.
carbon monoxide. And Dan, I'd
And
love to.
it will build up
Right.
and build up, and what it does is it chokes oxygen out of
Right.
a human being. Go ahead.
I'd love to let you hear what it sounds like
It's-
if it would
it's
detect it
loud.
in your home. We've modified this one to show a reading, so you could hear what it sounds like. 4 very loud beeps followed by a pause, and then another 4 beeps.
Different than a smoke detector.
And so that would continue to cycle until you hit the silence button here. You also see that number.
That's parts per million.
Yes. So if it goes off in your home, what you want to do is immediately get your family and pets out of the house into fresh air and call the emergency services. Let them come determine the source of the leak. That number's on there because oftentimes they'll ask you on the phone what that number is. It gives them an idea before they get there.
Right.
But you just want to get your family out right away. Don't mistake it. A lot of times people think, well, something's wrong with the detector. It's probably not. But you always want to take it seriously.
Pat has been my best friend here on the air for 28 Christmases. She was the original host with me for the morning show 20 years
Yes.
ago. The story that we played a videotape of her earlier, when that happened, Pat, this is how sweet she is, bought my family 6 carbon
Right.
monoxide
Oh.
detectors. They last for 10 years.
Yes.
There's no batteries to replace.
Nope.
If the power goes out in your home, they still work.
That's the thing. So they're a great supplement. If you have them hardwired into your home, like a lot of new homes do, this
Right.
is a great supplement.
But when your furnace goes out, that's when the carbon monoxide can
That's
often
right.
become the problem.
And travel with them too. If you're traveling this
that's
holiday
good.
season,
Put it in a
take
hotel
them
room.
with you. Take them to the
That's good.
hotel, the rental home, your grandparents' home, your kids' home.
Not trying to make you paranoid, but
Right.
man, it happens every day.
Yeah, you read it in the paper all
It
the
doesn't
time.
have to happen.
Yeah.
Thank you, young
Hey,
lady.
thanks. Great to be here, Dan.
Be well. Coming up a little bit later on, we're going to talk about another item. This one's for comfort in your home.